Thunder bolted out the sky and shook the house. Lightning burst into the sphere and struck a nearby tree. Rain droplets pelted the large glass windows. I watched as the sky darkened from a dark blue to a deathly black hole escaping into nothingness. My bags were packed neatly under my bed. My hands were clammy bananas. My feet were a wooden Toy Story wormy feet. My legs were jelly. I quivered as the clock struck 12, the sound vibrating into the waves and catching glances at the wind. I shivered, casting my blanket around me, tightly. Only time would tell if the plan would work. I had been meticulous in planning this, just as any other plan I had ever made. My nails were knives. I smiled. Soon, I'd be free. I watched as the hours ticked by. I had to be sure everyone was asleep. The clock struck 3, the sound pulsating into the dark hallway. I called out to her, "Lady Jane, Lady Jane." A pause ensued. Then I heard footsteps on the landing. Before I knew it, she was there. I smiled, taking in her appearance. She was a beautiful Middle Eastern woman with luscious locks, her hair falling down to her bottom. Her maxi dress was long almost to the floor, a simple satin dress. She was wearing an apron with a badge, wherein it was printed in bold capital letters, "Lady Jane." "It's time," I said, nervously motioning to her bags. "Yes, my dear, I have the keys." "Be quiet. Tiptoe down the stairs. It'll be long to get down there. Be brave and don't lose sight of your goal. Your future awaits, my dear. I shall miss you, but onwards and upwards. I'm happy for you," she said, lovingly, dashing a smile at me. She was neither apprehensive nor scared. Her words flowed with ease, gently weaving through the suffocated air. "I'll miss you too," I said, grabbing her into a bear hug. Then the time had come. She took my bags and we both tiptoed gently to the stairs landing. The castle was grand, with large stained glass windows, featuring red, pink, yellow, blue and green bricks. The castle was pitch black, save for the lantern Lady Jane was holding. It glinted in the darkness as they made their way down the long, narrow, winding staircase. I was a princess, which is why I was wearing a long, flowy dress filled with embroidery, patterns and a sleek ribbon around my waist. It was pink. I loved pink. It reminded me of all things love and cherry blossoms. My blonde hair were groomed into curls, styled with a flowery hairband. It was something I could never stop wearing. It was a family heirloom from my great-great-grandma. Anyhow, where was I before I interrupted myself? The stairs were cobbled. One had to take care walking down the stairs, so as to not fall. It was a high jump, approximately 500 meters in distance. 30 minutes later, we reached the end of the stairs. The castle was silent. I stopped to catch my breath. It had been tiresome and I was starting to feel a bit lightheaded. But, there was no time to spare. I watched as Lady Jane grabbed the keys tugged in her sleeve and started to try each of them. It opened in an instant. I was going through the back door. We said goodbye, and then she handed me my bags. I nearly fell from its weight but quickly regained balance as I slipped away into the darkness, leaving Lady Jane behind. I quickly clambered down the hill, my breath becoming worrisome. I grabbed my inhaler from my bag. I checked the time, it was 4:30 am. I felt my way through the darkness, the grass were nails to my boots. My torch had stopped working. I walked and walked, my strength leaving my body until I saw something. A glint in the distance. I crouched behind the tree. I was about to gasp, but I was quick to deafen my voice, upon the approach of a passerby. A familiar voice loomed. "The king is asleep. I will speak about it in the morning. Princess Aisha is my mine and soon we'll be wed," came the man's hoarse voice. The leaves wrestled with my dress. "Did you hear that?" he said. "Yes, it must have been a squirrel. You know what this place is like. It's filled with animals." "Don't be perturbed," the other one said. He was wearing armor, the gray glint acting as a mirror reflecting his appearance. "True, true." He turned away and resumed walking. I watched as they walked away. My goodness. That was a close call. My stupendous dress nearly gave me away. I was not fit for walking, but what would a princess like me do all alone in my chamber? I must do this. I must prove them wrong. There was no way I was going to let them marry me off to my cousin.